Even within my team, I am the youngest person. Everyone else uh, at least 10 years elder than me. So that's how,
What?
uh,
Okay.
yes. But now it's 150 to 0.
There are
Yo,
no
There are
girls.
no girls in the plant.
No one.
Wow.
Oh, damn.
oh my god. Every day you're with boys.
Oh my god. Every day you're with boys.
Hi guys, Hanan here. Thank you so much for clicking on this episode of the Toastmasters podcast. And before we jump in, I just wanted to give you a quick intro of what you're in for exactly. Speaking of the TM podcast, since this is the first episode, we just want to make one thing clear. We are not doing this as a publicity stunt or doing it as something to promote our channel through. This is something for us to reconnect with our alumni. We have been wanting to talk to the seniors who graduated and ask them how their corporate life has been going, or if they chose higher studies, how their university life has been going, etc. And we wanted to put that on record. We wanted to catch up with them and we wanted to just share the experiences that we listened to with you guys as well. And that is the whole concept behind this podcast. Now, coming to the guest for this episode, it was TM Jayendran, who was a graduate of 2022. So, he is a very recent graduate and he's working at a plant. So, he talked to us in this episode about how that is different from corporate life and how gender ratio is skewed in plants and a little bit about that, how he was part of a few clubs in college and how that may or may not have helped him in his work as well, and a lot of other things which you will soon see. So go ahead and give it a listen, and of course if you feel like it, you can play it at 1.5x speed if that is easier for you to listen to considering the length of this episode. And I will see you at the end.
वेळ लागल्याशिवाय इतिहास घडत नाही.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the TMI podcast. And we have with us today a special guest who is a graduate of the club. And before I get to his intro, we'll introduce ourselves first. I am Hanan Abdul. I am currently a final year in the CSA department, and I am the president of Toastmasters International United States. I have with me today Rigved, Shankru, and Anshul, and we'll be joined with one more panelist somewhere towards the middle of the podcast. So I'd like to hand it over to them to introduce themselves. Anshul.
All right. So I hope my voice is clear. Good evening, everyone. I am Anshul Vishal, a fourth year chemical engineering student who has been a part of this club since 4 years now, since my first year. I'm really excited to talk about Jayu with Jayu after a long time. And yeah, that's all for my intro. Over to Rigved.
Okay. Hey, I'm Rigved. I'm from I fourth year again. So we are a mix of all departments here. No common Venn diagrams in between departments. And thanks for tuning in if you have tuned in. And it's an experimentation from our side as well. We don't know how it will go. So let's have this ride together. Those who are listening and we talking. So yeah, Jayendran, you want to introduce?
All right. So, welcome everyone who have tuned into this podcast. And good evening. Now it's good evening. So, let me introduce myself first. I am Jayendran. I'm a recent graduate from NIT Trichy. I majored in production engineering, and right now I'm working as a graduate engineering trainee in the PPC department of JKTS, a leading tire manufacturing company in India. And about my Toastmasters journey, I have been a member of Toastmasters since my first year, and I have continued my journey from my college right till now. Although right now my journey has been hit lately with work-life balance, I'm still continuing Toastmasters.
Okay.
Over to the panelists.
Okay, I think it's too much of a formal start. I feel we wanted to go a bit informal. So I think to start with, and then I think we can talk about uh, your your plant life, your corporate life there. First of all, when I asked you where you work, and I said I presumed that it was corporate, but you said it was you work in a plant and it's very different from corporate. And I don't understand like what exactly is the difference between them.
Okay, so when you mention corporate life,
Hmm.
you think of a 9 to 5 job in a swanky office behind a computer desk.
Hmm.
But what I work is completely different from that. So in a plant job, you have to be on your feet and you have to get your hands dirty. I mean, my job does not involve that much intense work as compared to, say, the operators or other departments.
Hmm.
But still, a plant life is very different from a corporate life. Uh, so before I explain how my plant life is, I would
Yeah.
explain how a typical plant works.
Okay.
So a plant would have to run 24 hours a day. Like they cannot stop and start the production because the cost of stopping and starting a production would be high. And even on holidays, they would just stop the production line and just let the boilers run because stopping it and then starting it again would be higher. So due to this very factor, plants tend to run 24 hours for almost the entire year. So due to this very nature of how plants function,
Hmm.
the uh, life of a person working in the plant will also be similar to that. They have to, uh, for some, their day starts early in the morning. For some, it starts late in the night
Right.
because they have to cover all
The
24 hours.
right.
So it won't be a 9 to 5. It would mostly be something like uh, 6 to 2, 2 to 10, or 7 to 3,
Yes.
3 to 11, 11 to. So
Hmm.
it's how the job would be.
Got it.
And also the plants cannot be situated near to more populated areas. So it has to be situated somewhere remotely from the people because they involve hazardous and sensitive materials. So due to that, most plants will be situated in far remote places. Even though I am living in Chennai, the plant is still like 20 kilometers away from my place. So that's how a plant could be.
Mhm.
So these are the many factors that could affect you when you come into a plant environment. The lifestyle that you encounter here will be very different from a corporate lifestyle.
Mhm.
You would be required to be rough and tough. Like you cannot afford to make a huge mistake as that could drastically affect the whole production and the profit that a company gets. So in that sense, plant job is I wouldn't say more stressful, but an equally stressful and a very
Mhm.
different kind of a job than you would normally expect it to be.
Yeah, yeah. Why I can agree with this is because even my father does the same work. He is working in the production of plastics in the plant. So he had the same job of making sure that the plant is giving that output that is required 24/7, 365. So I
Hmm.
know like how I wouldn't say tough, but how important that work is. And if there's any shutdown or startup, how much time goes in each of that phase. So that can become stressful. And since you talked about stress also, as a young, what do you call, just graduated guy who's working in a plant, how are you like managing? Like was it easy for you to adapt, or like did you take some time, a lot of time to adjust to the production, uh, what do you call, environment over there?
Uh, to be honest, I am still trying to adapt to the environment.
Hmm.
I cannot say for 100% sure that I have adapted, like I have managed it well. Like I am struggling to manage the uh, work and the day-to-day activities that I have. So I'm yet to see how uh, to strike that balance.
Mm. Have you worked in shifts?
Uh, since my department is a bit different from other departments, I don't work on shifts. I only work on the first shift. So my job ends at the end of the first shift, and then I come back on the next day's first shift.
Mm.
So like, how does your day go, Jayendran? From what time do you start?
I start from, I mean, my work starts from 7 and ends at 3.
Okay,
So basically, my job would be to review the previous day's production and then uh, check the inventory, the material management, and then plan for the until the next day patient. So that's how my uh, nature of job would be.
got it, got it. So where is it? In Chennai itself?
Yeah, it's in Chennai. It's okay to be technical. It's 50 kilometers away from Chennai.
50, 50 kilometers.
50.
From your home?
No. From Chennai.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, from my place, it's like 20 kilometers.
Got it, got it. Damn.
Then how do you manage this 20 kilometers like daily, day in, day out?
Company bus comes to pick me up daily.
Mm-hmm. Damn that.
I go by company bus.
Oh. So like,
That's
so
great.
what if you, stupid question, but what if you miss the company bus at the morning? Have you missed any?
Uh, yeah, I have missed it once, but
Okay.
thankfully, someone from the company came by in a bike and he picked me up.
Did they shout at you or something? Oh, Jayendran, you're a new entry and you come late.
No. I mean, I'm pretty new to the company, so they understood that
Mm.
it's
Mm.
typical of a new person to miss buses sometimes. So, but apart from that one time, I never missed a bus.
It was just once. Just once.
Yeah, it was just once.
Damn. Bro, like,
Nice, bro. Nice.
see, you are ready at 7 in the morning always.
No, but you realize that getting a bus apart from the company bus would be very difficult.
Oh,
So
Mm.
you will be
It happens.
prepared to be there early before the company bus comes in.
got it.
So
Hmm.
after 3, what do you do? Like once you get back home, what is your normal routine as such?
After 3, as of now, my routine involves washing my clothes, cleaning my room, and then
Mm.
I try to prepare for dinner. But as of now, I'm very unsuccessful at making dinner for myself.
Oh, so
I
how
tried
is
making
that? Oh yeah. No, go ahead. Complete what you were saying.
I tried making dosa, but couldn't. So as of now, I'm eating at a place nearby, which serves me normal South Indian food like dosa,
Hmm.
a mess where you can get the normal South Indian dinner and breakfast.
Oh, it's like a college mess itself.
It's a
Like,
mess.
got it,
Yeah.
got it. So it must be very cheap. Cheap
Yeah.
and cheap and you get everything. Hmm. And then
Hmm.
what about, yeah, go ahead and saying something.
Yeah, I was gonna ask like how is that like adjusting to living on your own must be a huge task on its own. So like you were saying you'll wash clothes after you get back to the room and all that. So how has that been just living on your own and adjusting to that lifestyle now?
Uh, living on my own is so much harder than I thought it would be
Hmm.
because I'm in a new city and uh, all the times I have to, you know, I mean, I'm glad that we live in a digital age where I can just look into Google Maps and then go to places, but still it's like a lot of, uh, I would say struggle, but it I have to be more, street smart. Or I have to know a lot of things before I can do something. I cannot just simply go from here to another place, or even if it's for a simple, say, if I want to buy a normal grocery or I haven't bought a lot of grocery, but if I want to buy anything or something, I have to rely on others, and there are very few people nearby. So as
Oh,
an introvert, it's very hard for me to strike conversations with them, get to know, and then
Right.
get the information that I want the most. So
Mm.
it's been going like that. But
what is
as
it?
of now, I would say that,
Hmm. After that?
uh, like I would say that over a period of time, I'm quite accustomed to asking others for a simple help or like get to
Mm.
know where this would be there or where I can get there. In that
Mm.
way, I think I'm growing in that manner.
Hmm.
So, Jayu, you talked about like right now you just talked about how it's tough to adjust on your own, your new home, managing everything. You also said that it's tough to adjust to your office work, production, manufacturing plant, basically.
Hmm.
How are the people over there? Like, how are the managers? How are the colleagues? Are they
Actually,
easy to talk to, or is it tough to talk with them? Are they like old and you have to be formal with them a lot or something like that? Like, what's the scene there?
You don't have to be formal with them. Like when my grandfather gave me advice before I joined here, his advice was to have a clean shave like this and uh, be in a proper tucked in shirt and pant. But when I came to the job, people were more casual than they used to. I don't know how it's in corporate, but here people are a bit casual. Like they have beer and uh,
oh,
even the conversations are not very formal. Even
Mm.
in like people used to communicate in emails, right? It is
hmm.
not very for the formal the way we think it would. Again,
Right.
this is coming to the plant shop. And also in plant shop, even though we have our own email communication, but that's not how we communicate. So most of the communication will happen on floor where the concerned person will come to the floor, the shop floor, and then discuss the problem. So
Mm.
uh, email communication would be mostly to send documents and then to have the proof that they have done these things here, or like they have done the maintenance here, or they have completed the activities of the day, or so that kind of formal activities that has to be noticed and acknowledged by the upper management. It goes through the email communication. The day-to-day problems, it goes to the shop floor. It is dealt in the shop floor, and that's where the most of the communication takes place. And coming to the second part, when you talk about whether they are old or not, uh, actually, I'm the only person in the plan. No, I think there was one other person. Like, I think there are only two or three who are born in 2000. I mean, 2000. There are, and obviously, there won't be anyone who was born after 2000. So, even within my team, I am the youngest person. Everyone else are at least 10 years elder than me. So that's how,
What?
uh,
Okay.
yes.
How many from our campus went to JK Tires?
In my batch, only one. In my seniors
Oh,
batch, there is one. But
oh,
when it comes to graduate engineering trainees, they take only like two or three, or even one in my case. No, I mean, from our college, it was only me.
okay.
But even if you take uh, from all the other colleges, the people who are getting into a plant as GT, it would be at max three or four.
Hmm. Oh,
Mm.
Bro, 10 years old means like you automatically start saying sir, or
yeah.
like sir
Ah, yes.
automatically starts coming on.
When I joined the company, I used to refer everyone as sir,
Huh.
but then they
Felt awkward.
didn't want. Yeah, they felt awkward and didn't want me to call them sir. So
Yeah.
I just call them by their names.
Oh, by the names? Oh, damn.
Uh,
Mm.
Nice.
One off question, but since you work in a manufacturing plant, what is the ratio? What is the gender ratio there?
Good question. Good.
Interesting.
uh, so
Oh,
five months
he's
back
counting the
it
girls. He's counting the girls.
5 months back it was 150 is to 1 in engineering, but now it's 150 is to 0.
There are
Yo,
no
There are
girls.
no girls in the plant.
No one.
Wow.
Oh damn.
oh my God! Every day you're with boys.
Yep. I mean,
Anshul
there was
cannot.
a female GT who joined with us, but she quit within a month due to her personal reasons.
Yeah, due to
So
personal reasons.
it went from 150 to 150 is to 1 in engineers. I mean, I'm just counting the engineers and the managers.
Mm,
150
Right.
is to 1 to 150 is to 0.
mm.
Why do you think it is that?
Yeah. Why? Yeah.
Is it because it's
Okay,
plant based and it's more? Okay, this is what I'll tell you. Okay, during my JE counseling, all right, JE counseling, they tell us to pick up branches and departments, right? And there is one famous video take in from Kota or something on YouTube that I found, which talks about which colleges to choose, which branches to choose, and all that. Because there's a lot of confusion. So girls are generally recommended to pick up software related branches, even if it's from a low
Yeah.
college. And mechanical, everyone knows about the story of like the generation mechanical. Although in 3G it's way better now, I feel. But
Mm.
I think it's already set from from way before they start actually exploring engineering that you should not work on fields, you should not work in plants, and might as well just work on software related stuff because it's just the next job.
Even during my JE counseling, I have seen people
Hmm,
who had ranks that could get them into mechanical, but then
exactly.
they chose branches which are considered to be uh, below mechanical in terms of job opportunities,
Hmm,
just because it isn't as intense as it is not considered as not very female friendly as mechanical.
Mm.
hmm.
I mean, even the batch before me in mechanical department, like in production, the male to female ratio was a bit better, but in the mechanical department, I mean, for the batch before us, the section was not called Mech Section A and Mech Section B. It was called Mech Section 2 and Mech Section 0.
Zero.
Why?
You get it right?
2 girls and
Uh,
0 girls.
yeah.
Really? Oh damn.
Hmm.
Okay.
You can ask your, I mean, you can ask your seniors if you
Damn.
want to.
Yeah, I've heard this. Mm.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, they are discouraged from taking mechanical in general.
Hmm.
Mm.
And people who take mechanical despite that are great, in my opinion. And people
Yeah.
who choose core engineering, even
Core.
after going through 4 years of
Mm,
mechanical, are even better.
Then they actually really like the field. That means.
then they deserve the job, bro. Then they deserve the job.
Hmm.
And I'm going to say that like it's a punishment. You deserve the job you chose to do.
I mean, it's
Apart from
also the
this,
nature of the industry, right? Because you work on
yeah,
ships and they cannot come on every ship. There's this
Mm.
safety of women that the company needs to take into, and
yeah,
there are several other factors that.
But do you feel, Jayendran, that is the work too tedious that or too that way that a girl won't be able to manage?
Mm, depends on the job function. If
Mm-hmm.
it is the if it is my job function, then I would say a female would be able to do it.
All
But
right.
if it's something like say working on the production line,
Mm-hmm.
and that requires them to be on the production line all along. They have to work with the spanners and stuff. So in that scenario, it could be difficult. Again, I'm not saying that a woman should not work in factories, but I'm just saying that the nature of the industry is such that it's very discouraging for women.
Yeah.
No.
Apart from this gender, the question that we had, like now you just graduated from your college knowing a certain amount of knowledge, that you thought would be useful in your industry. But when you just went there, like, was everything that you learned useful over there, or like you had to learn new
Okay.
stuff, or like, how was that thing? Like, you knew
Correct.
everything, or you had to learn a lot?
Correct.
Go on, go on.
Okay, so regarding this question, like I thought I knew everything about production engineering, and then I went to a manager. Like I was, I wouldn't say I was pretty confident, but my manager started asking me questions about the concepts that I learned, and I tried answering it, saying, believing that I knew everything. But then my manager just smashed my confidence in the first meeting itself. Like I realized that there was a huge gap between what is theory and what is practice. I'm not saying that the theory is not relevant, but it will be beneficial if you have practical experience coupled with the theory. You need to know how the theory applies in practice, how the industry veterans employ the various methodologies, theories, techniques that are being taught in our classes in real life industrial environment. Only when you know this, then you will know how to apply even more advanced concepts that you learn into your job. And also, since tire industry was new for me, I had to learn a lot regarding tires, how they are manufactured,
Right.
what kind of physical properties they consider for that, and what constitutes a good tire and a defective tire.
Right. I think what you learn in engineering is very broad, and like I think was there any
So,
course for tires during your uh,
no.
no, right? So you had to learn. Like, how did you learn? What, like, they gave the resources themselves, or they teach, or they have a training program, or
You companies normally have a induction program where they brief you about not in that they just brief you about various uh, sections of tire industry, right from production to R&D to even the sales and marketing.
right?
But if you want to learn in depth, you have to go and you have to learn on your own. The companies expect you to be self-starters. And to be
Oh,
honest, I am not the kind of the person uh, who can learn on my own. Like I need materials, proper resources to learn, and
correct,
it was the hardest part for me in my job. Like I had to go ask every person how this works, how that works, and I did not even have the clarity to ask what I need to ask them. Like
correct, correct,
should
correct.
I ask just this, or can I ask beyond this, or
Yeah,
what exactly should I ask them? So that mm, so that I would gain clarity on tire industry. So yeah, that was the hardest part for me when I joined the company.
So how did you like gradually overcome that? Because even I had this during internships. There was this huge like starting difficulty to actually start asking people doubts. My manager doubts about how does this work, how does that work. So was there some point when you realized that it's okay to ask
okay. Okay,
people?
before that, I faced this problem during the second internship, and I had this big fear. All right, that so I did not know that there's a huge gap on all of that. So I thought, okay, whatever projects that I've done, which they have seen in the interview process, they selected me, so they feel I'm capable. So whatever work is there, it will be very related. So I go that okay, what I know is enough. But then they give me a task, and I don't know anything about it. Now the question arises: should I ask them? If I ask them, oh, they will know that I don't know anything about this. Or like probably they will feel that they have selected a wrong candidate or something. And I never asked him that fear,
Right,
thinking
right.
they might never consider me. Like probably for Hanan's case, it might be a PPO. For me, it was very less risky. But there's this fear that should I go for it, or should I just do my own thing and just understand whatever I can understand and just sit quietly. So, so what was your experience with this? Vedang?
Or to ask.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I mean, for me, they wouldn't judge because I'm new to tire industry and they knew it. So they didn't expect me to have any prior knowledge about tire industry,
Mm,
but they did have expectations on the general aspects of production systems, the supply chain, and
mm,
operations management. So they
Hmm.
expected that knowledge from me, but they also expected how um, relevant my knowledge of it was to the industry. Like not every subject that you learn will be relevant to the company or the manufacturing plant. Right? Only a few subjects would be relevant to the job function that you work on. So they were also looking into that. But they didn't expect me to have any knowledge about tire industry, and yeah, that's one good thing. That's one pressure of like
right.
that's not the case with say chemical engineering or I don't know about chemical engineering, but there are people who come from rubber and plastics technology, so they are expected to have prior knowledge about this. So I didn't have that
Mm,
pressure on me.
got it.
For me, like as you mentioned, chemical engineers, what we learn in college is like the ABCD of the gram or something. It's like very basics, heat transfer, mass transfer. It's very basic. We solve some numericals and stuff, but those are never really applied in the industries. We are
Mm,
even told that this uh, theorem or concept is an old concept which is not used, but we still are being taught that, and that becomes a major part of the portion. So, for you in production as such, how relevant was what was taught to you by the professors compared to what you learned? Because I think it was not that relevant, but you had to go on your own as well. But in the basics at least, not
Um,
apart from tires, just the basics. Do you think it was enough, or do you still have to cover up on your own?
Thank you guys so much for watching the first part of the first episode of the Toastmasters podcast. And we really hope you enjoyed watching that as much as we enjoyed recording it for you. Now, the answer to Anshul's question will be in the next part that we'll be releasing soon. This episode was getting just a little too long for just one video, so we had to cut it down into three different parts, and we'll be releasing the next two parts soon on our channel. While you wait for those parts to be released, you might have a few suggestions for us on what we can do to improve, or you might have a few thoughts about the podcast that you'd like to let us know. Do leave them in the comment section below, or if you prefer another method, you could just mail us your suggestions in the address that we've provided in the description as well. Now, we will be seeing you in the next part when it is released, and we'll be signing off till then. So do make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notifications icon so that you receive notifications whenever we release the next part. Thank you so much once again. And when you apply for a club, I think one question that I get asked a lot by juniors is, do you think that it will make a difference as a POR? Which is just the wrong approach, according to me. Like, you
oh,
shouldn't be joining a club just because you want it as a POR.
Um, with what I've seen LinkedIn and with what I've experienced with LinkedIn, I think everyone has a fetish to just put in the work experience thing about their first experience. And
see,
coming to
by when we came coming to capstone, when we came, the capstone was being built, and then we went into online. So my entire internship and placement process happened online,
Bro,
and I
damn,
only went to capstone in my final year, and that too was just for some other meeting, not for placements.